So moved. Second?
Okay, it's been moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. First item on the agenda is Special Approval Plan 56-3-2022. Location is 24,300 Drake Road, and it's a temporary concrete batch plant in a B3 area. Are we starting with Joe? Are you starting, or are you going to have the proponent do it?
Public hearings, we typically have the applicant first, and then I go.
Okay. Who's here? Come on up. Come on up here and give your name and your information to Cheryl, please, for the record.
I'm Gary Evangelista, Mark Anthony Contracting. We submitted an application to put our temporary batch plant at the above location for Commerce Drive and Orchard Lake.
That's Evangelista, you said? Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to add? It's your chance.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yep, we believe everything's all set. I did see on the notes in here, though, I could say that it was questioned in regards to the verification of the property owner's approval. We would adhere to the property owner's note at 1031 to be off the premise.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah. Questions
Yeah, there you
of the
go.
proponent?
No movie theater?
No movie theater.
When do you, oh, you're gonna run till 10/31/22? You're not gonna go that long.
No,
You've been there this is the third year you're gonna be there.
correct.
And the cement you're making is going over to Orchard Lake in Northwestern area. Orchard Lake and 14, right?
Correct. And then we have Commerce Drive as well.
Where's Commerce Drive?
It's over at the northwest, it's at the industrial park at 10 Mile.
Right.
Haggerty.
Okay. No, I wasn't in favor of you the last time you guys were up here, but I didn't even notice you were there, and I live 2 blocks away. Never smelled a thing. I very rarely heard anything. I could see that there were piles of material there. Now, let me ask you about that. You monitor the piles of material, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
And you have cones put on the top of them. What do the cones do?
Cones on top of the material?
Yeah, I mean, don't you have something that measures humidity and things like that so it doesn't solidify?
No, we put sprinklers on our aggregate pile during the summertime to keep from the heat, from the outside heat hydrating into the concrete, keep the concrete at normal temperature.
And the cement itself, the cement materials inside of, they're inside of
Yeah, it's contained.
containers. They're not left out.
No, it comes in a bulker and it gets put into our plant and it comes out through our batching system.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Okay. Anyone else have questions? Okay. Mr. Tangieri?
Thank you. So he already addressed one of the questions in my letter about the discrepancy in the time frame that they were seeking. So 10/31 does appear to be the termination date based on the information he just provided. We'll note that this is the 4th temporary batch plant to seek location on this site within the last 7 years, so it's kind of been used for this a lot. And their requested hours of operation were 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. One thing I'll note is that, like most temporary batch plants, they're not going to be on the site every day working from May through November. They're there for kind of a sprinkling of days, if you will. This parcel happens to be surrounded by commercial development. It's all zone B3 or B2, and it's accessible from Drake Road. One note on Drake Road is that engineering has requested there not be any northbound traffic off this site onto Drake Road. They like all the traffic directed down to Grand River. And I know that they'll work with the applicant on a routing plan, but I did want the Planning Commission to be aware that that's something that engineering is going to request. The applicant didn't provide any setbacks on their plan. Measuring it's pretty obvious that the setbacks for the district are met to the equipment that they're putting in place, but wasn't none of it was noted on the plan. They have a parking area identified, and they have counterclockwise circulation around the unit on the site. And they're going to close the cross-access drive to the south. There's a cross-access drive that leads to the businesses to the south. They're going to put a barricade across that to keep any traffic from coming into their site. Not proposing any lighting. They're not proposing to affect any of the trees that are on the site. There's a kind of a line of trees along the Drake Road frontage. And they've included some diagrams and images of their proposed equipment. The height limit in the district is 50 feet, and that the equipment basically goes right up to the height limit at its tallest point. The main exhaust is a little taller than 50 feet. So when we're looking at a batch plant or other similar construction uses, we have a special land use approval process in place for those. And it has some conditions or some criteria for approval. So I'll just highlight what those criteria are. I'll be talking about these same criteria twice tonight. So in the B3 district, cement batch plants aren't specifically permitted. They are, though, permitted as a special land use under Section 424C. The criteria are that the Planning Commission shall examine the proposed use and determine that the petitioner has adequately explored alternative locations and the location proposed is the most reasonable. The Planning Commission shall examine the location of structures on the site and determine that they are the most appropriate, may require reasonable temporary screening of the activity proposed, may suggest the location of vehicular access to the site, and make other recommendations which will assist in the protection of nearby uses during the time the construction use is in operation. So those are all things that you can consider. All setbacks, land coverage, off-street parking, lighting, and other requirements for protecting the public health, safety, peace, morals, comfort, convenience, and general welfare of the inhabitants of the city shall be determined by the Planning Commission as being appropriate to the site and surrounding area. The act of granting approval of a use not otherwise permitted in a district shall in no way be construed as a change in the basic uses permitted in the district, nor on the property wherein the use is permitted. So if you permit this to occupy this site, you're not saying it's permitted anywhere in the district under any circumstances. And the granting of permission for the use shall be made in writing stipulating all conditions as to length of time, nature of development permitted, and arrangements for removing the use at the termination of the period of time granted. And this applicant has addressed when it will be removed by. So if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to address them.
Do you have a copy of the letter?
Yes.
Okay. And you saw the one item that he wanted you to fix? Under project summary? Page 2, first paragraph?
Yeah, he addressed that earlier in his comments.
Right. But that hasn't been fixed yet, right, Joe?
No, yeah, they'll need to update their letter for the city's records. But he did just agree to the 1031 that the property owner's letter says.
Fix that, right?
So you gotta
Yes.
update this one then, right?
That's the one from Brett Sheffer?
This is the one for Mark Anthony
Okay.
with the sign by the owner, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's in
Because
his.
this letter says October 31st.
Yes, exactly.
So this one.
That's correct.
Yeah, so that would be one of the conditions of your approval if you were to grant approval, is you just make sure that that gets updated.
Anything else besides that?
I would like to see them put the actual setbacks on the plan.
Okay.
Not a problem.
This is a public hearing. Does anybody?
Do we have a chance to talk to him first?
Oh, you want to talk to Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Barry. Go ahead.
For a special use, we can't go over 180 days in any event, correct? I mean, the special use is only for 180 days, max. Am I wrong?
I have to look at the,
Mr. Schultz,
I'm looking too. I think you're right, though, Member Brickner, yes.
in the May 1st to October 31st would be 180 days.
right.
Okay. And there's also going to be, there's also restrictions, they can't work before 7 AM or
7 to 7 is their, it would be their
7
hours.
7 PM at night and not on Sundays.
That's right.
Those are all requirements of the special use.
Anybody else have any questions?
Thank you.
You ready for a motion?
No, you have to do a public hearing.
I'm
first.
sorry, yes, I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyone here from the public wish to speak on this topic?
That guy. Yeah, there's a seat.
Hey there. That's an ex-member, by the way.
Hey, Duke.
He retired,
Tired member.
but he can't, he loves us. He's coming back.
And nothing else better to do on a Thursday evening.
There it is. Special license.
Okay, public hearing. Anybody wish to speak to this topic? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Motion? You? Yes.
Yes. I move the special approval of number 56-3-2022 submitted by Brett Scheffler of Mark Anthony Contracting, Inc. be approved, subject to all applicable provisions of the zoning chapter for the following reasons. The use would not be injurious to the district and environs. The effects of the use would not be contrary to the spirit and intent of the zoning chapter. The use would be compatible with existing uses in the area. The use will not interfere with orderly development of the area. The use will not be detrimental to the safety or convenience of the vehicular or pedestrian traffic. That they actually put the setbacks into their letter, and that they meet our ordinances, and that the dates should also be set forth and not to extend 180 days. Do we need to put in there about they can only work from 7 AM to 7 PM, and they cannot work on Sundays or holidays?
Those are times that are in their submission, so you'd be accepting the operating hours as they presented them.
Okay, then we'll accept the operating hours as stated.
Support?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
Thank you.
So that motion included the 10/31 date, was that right? The motion included the October 31st date?
Right,
Okay,
May 1st to October 31st,
okay,
not to exceed the 180 days.
I think
okay,
that's what it
thank you.
is.
And the
I think it's
setbacks
for the
done.
ZBA.
Setbacks, yes.
Thank you, Barry.
The next item on the agenda is Special Approval Plan 57-3-2022. The location is 32680 Northwestern Highway. Proposals for a temporary batch plant and a B3. Is someone here from the, would you come up, please? Would you make sure that your information is given to Cheryl, too, before you leave?
My name is Steve Greger. I represent Florence Cement Company.
Gregor,
Correct.
thank you. That's right here, okay.
And your address, business address?
51515 Corridor, Shelby Township,
Okay,
48312, I believe.
okay.
Florence Cement is here requesting permission to utilize this site for a temporary batch plant. I would point out that Florence was the one that utilized the site for 2 years over there on Drake. So the no comment or no problems that was us utilizing that plant. In 2019, we were over on 8 Mile Road by Farmington. So we've been operating a batch plant for 3 years in Farmington Hills, and I feel we've been a good steward. The site here, I understand, is close to residents, and I've searched, I've done my due diligence within Farmington Hills. There's, I've been to the Mercedes place, it doesn't matter, but I also been to Commerce. There was a site on Haggerty, just north of 14 Mile, right next to the Home Depot. I tried to use the idea that I'm going to be least disruptive there, but similar to Farmington Hills, they don't allow stuff being shipped outside their community. So with that said, I feel I've looked just about everywhere. We used to be over at Drake. The site that we're going to help, that we're contracted with the city is the Heritage Hills subdivision, which is closer to this location. As the other gentleman said, we do put water on our piles. We understand that dust is going to be a problem. We understand noise is going to be a problem. I'm hoping that our performance the last 3 years will be part of the analysis here. We're going to do our best to be least disruptive as possible. I know that we're a construction company and things, but as Giffords mentioned before, we have 12 paved days in this project. So we're going to be there for a duration, but the actual, if things go as we plan, we'll be producing concrete only 12 days. Now, I don't want to, we're going to be more than 12 days. This site's going to need to be a little bit grade work done. We got to put some silt fence up to get it prepped. We got to protect some trees and such. So there is going to be work there, but production of concrete is only supposed to be 12 days. Within the questions that we had, I think Giffords was looking for the height of we're under 30 feet. The documents that we showed, it actually comes out to be 25 feet. So we're within that. I didn't show a parking area, but I would put it up towards the front of the Northwestern there. I would also add that Florence is willing, we need use of this site, but we are willing to try to push more of the operation up towards Northwestern to try to avoid being closer to the concerned area. I think that's about all I got right now.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Tenjeri?
Okay, so he did just respond to a few of the highlighted comments in our letter, but I'll go through some of the information that we've got here. So they are proposing this temporary concrete plant. Their documents that they submitted say they are going to have up to 11 employees associated with this plant, and that the last day of operation would be October 10th. They have a 127-day time frame that they're specifying, so whichever comes earlier, 127 days or October 10th is when the plant would be removed. They got 2 subdivision projects, as noted, and he's got I think their submission material said 24 paving days, or it could have said 12, and it seemed to be implied that there were 12 per subdivision. So is it 12?
It's
total?
12. It's yeah, there's 6 phases, and I have 2 paving days in each phase.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
So
sir.
it's 12 total days, not 12 for each subdivision. And then they also note that turf restoration on the site would occur in spring 2023. Same operating hours as the other operator who we just spoke to, 7 to 7, Monday through Saturday, no work on holidays. The height was just verified to be about 25 feet. They definitely are meeting the setbacks of the B2, B3 districts. Again, I'd like to see setbacks actually placed on the plan so that we can have something for our people to reference when they go out there. This one definitely has a much wider variety of uses surrounding it as well. There's a senior housing complex to the north, commercial development to the south and west, and then a multifamily housing development to the east that's zoned RC2. To the north, that's a PUD. This site will be accessed from Northwestern Highway. It's the same driveway that people would access the Beyond self-storage from. They have that same counterclockwise circulation on the site, not proposing any lighting. They're not proposing to take down any trees to conduct the operation. They do have a silt fence that they're planning to put up that would protect some of those, as well as mitigate runoff. They have given us some diagrams and images of their proposed equipment. And then we have those same 5 criteria from earlier, determining that they've adequately explored alternative locations and that this location is the most reasonable. Examining the location of the structures on the site and determining that they're the most appropriate, and you can require reasonable temporary screening of the activity proposed. You can suggest the location of vehicular access to the site and make other recommendations that would assist in protection of nearby uses. Setbacks, land coverage, off-street parking, lighting, and other requirements can be determined by the Planning Commission as being appropriate to the site and surrounding area. And then the act of granting approval, of course, does not mean that this is permitted anywhere in the district or that it is now permitted use in the district. And then finally, granting a permission would stipulate conditions as to length of time, nature of development permitted, and arrangements for removing the use at the termination of the period of time granted. They have addressed removal and hours of operation, so that would be another similar situation to the last time where if you were okay with the hours they were presenting, that's what you would go with.
Any questions for Mr. Tenjeri? Hearing none. I'm going to open the public hearing. If you'll come up here and give your name and address. And if you are speaking for yourself, you have 3 minutes. If you're speaking for a group, a subdivision, or something like that, you have 5 minutes. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Seema Chuckinkle. I live at Country Glens. Do you want my official street address? Okay, 30535 West 14 Mile Road, Unit 22. So I will be speaking on behalf of our association. So again, hi, my name is Seema Chuckinkle, and I live at Country Glens Condominium. As a board member of our association, the proposal for the temporary cement batch plant on Northwestern Highway is concerning for many reasons. Our condominium is located on 14 Mile Road between Northwestern and Middlebelt, and our complex is located next to Anthology Senior Living, Warner Middle School, and many residential homes. So we will all be directly affected if the cement batch plant moves in. According to the EPA website, they mention that the cement sector is the 3rd largest industrial source of pollution, and it emits more than 500,000 tons of carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen oxide per year. These 3 compounds, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen oxide, all contribute to air pollution and cause health problems ranging from heart disease to respiratory diseases like asthma, bronchitis, and emphysema. There will be issues with noise pollution created by the daily work of the cement batch plant, which includes mixing cement components in large drums, loading it onto conveyor belts to a loading point where they'll move into concrete trucks and onto the designated construction sites. The cement batch plant will continue making the loud noises during their work hours until the project is completed in October of 2022. And as is mentioned, there will be, I read, there will be 24 paving days along this turf restoration, but I heard you say 12. And the turf restoration will occur in the spring of 2023. And now this time frame will also include summer and fall, when more people will be outside expecting to breathe fresh air and enjoying their lives. There's also concern about the traffic that's generated. Since the plant is making cement for the city's Heritage Hills and Wedgewood Commons Phase 2 project, more cement trucks will be driving from Northwestern Highway to those sites. This will increase construction traffic and cause problems if the truck drivers take shortcuts through residential neighborhoods instead of public roads, or if the cement trucks start parking outside the plant and onto neighborhood roads. From an article from Detroit Free Press in 2017, the Detroit's Delray neighborhood had built a temporary cement batch plant, and it also created many problems for them. There was more noise and pollution due to the piles of gravel and sand that grew at the cement plant. There was an increase of health problems due to the dust created by the plant. Residents said it made it harder to breathe and caused many of them to stay confined inside their homes. A typical batch plant uses additives like fly ash and silica fume to help make the concrete cheaper and increase strength. Our concern is that the particles and byproducts are pollutants that can travel in the air and affect all of us nearby. The particles can cause eye irritation to those walking, riding bikes, or playing outside near the plant. It will also cause a collection of dust to cover large areas near the plant, including our association. The main product that is troubling is silica fume. If silica fume is used as an additive at the plant, its small particles can get inhaled and create lifelong health risks like lung cancer, silicosis, which is an incurable lung disease that can lead to disability and death, COPD or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and kidney disease. Regarding zoning, the lot on Northwestern Highway is a B3 district, and the B3 district is supposed to be for businesses, and cement batch plants are not specifically permitted unless an exception is made, and this proposal would give the site an exception. If we allow this plant to receive this exception, it will set a bad precedent for future plants that may also want to step up or set up a temporary site at the same location. An alternative option would be to have the plant set up at an industrial complex site or somewhere specifically zoned for it. It will ensure that the effects of the plant will remain far away from residential neighborhoods. So, the Country Glens Association strongly opposes the proposal to build a temporary cement batch plant on Northwestern Highway. The Planning Commission must decline this proposal now and send a clear message to the cement batch plant and future plants that they must not build at this location. The site at Northwestern Highway must remain designated as a B3 for general businesses only, without exception. Our community includes residential homes, Warner Middle School, and Anthology Senior Living Center. We strongly believe that although this is listed as a temporary project, the cement batch plant will create long-lasting health and pollution consequences for our residents. We deserve to live in an area that will promote a good quality of life without risking our health and air quality, cause traffic disruptions, and increase noise pollution. We ask that the Planning Commission decline approval for this proposed temporary cement batch plant. I also had a question, if I could pose to you. My question was, did the cement batch plant receive their State of Michigan air quality permit? And if not, what is the status of that request with the State of Michigan?
Steve, can you answer her question?
Yes, our plants are permitted through Eagle, their air quality division. We also have a certificate of operation for stormwater management. Our process is when we move, we notify the air quality division. They're at their right to inspect us at any time. We're permitted through you mentioned silica fume. We don't use silica fume. The cement and that comes to the site is in a closed container. It's in a tanker, a bulker. It's then transferred from that bulker by pneumatic, by pressure into our silo. It's all self-contained. We also have it's called a dust collector. It's got a bag house with filters in it. Its purpose is to draw dust out of the air. we're construction, we're gonna create dust, we're gonna create noise, we're gonna do everything we can so that we're not this disruptive force. We see Farmington Hills is got a lot of opportunity with work here. Like I said before, we've been here 3 years. We want to be here 4 years, we want to be here 5 years. We don't want to be the contractor that, oh no, here comes Florence. We want to be the contractor of choice for Farmington Hills. So I don't want to be this dust maker here or noise maker. We're going to do everything we can to minimize that problem.
Mr. Brickner, do you have a question?
Before you run away, I don't, did you have an opportunity to see this letter from the association?
Yes, yes, I've read that, yes.
My question to you is this is a mixing plant. You're not actually
I'm
making
not a
cement.
cement plant, right. I am a concrete plant. I would liken it to, cement is a product of concrete as flour is to the cake. We're just one you mix cement with water, with sand, with stone to make the concrete. We're not producing cement here. The cement that comes on site is going to be contained in bulkers and in silos. And then when it gets mixed into our plant, its water is added immediately, and it's the least amount of dust that we can do. But if there is dust, we'll have a water truck on site. That's part of our at the end, if there's any silver lining, I guess, I understand that this is a area that the city has wanted to them to seed and mulch it. When we leave this year, our part of our agreement with the landowner is that it will get seed and mulched so that grass will grow. It's my understanding he has other plans for it, so I don't believe that it'll be a batch plan in the future. I know that he has other plans for this site.
My basic question, and you answered part of it, is the thing is they're mentioning nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, which is a concern to myself and everybody on this commission. But you're not making. This is what.
No, sir.
This comes from making cement, making the cement, not using the cement.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We have someone from our.
That is correct.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else have questions? Okay, just a second. No, Steve?
Well, actually,
just
it's a
come to the
public
mic.
hearing.
I know it's still a public hearing, but
We're still doing the public hearing.
Good evening. My name is Ellen Byrne, B-Y-R-N-E, and I represent Anthology Senior Living. If you're not familiar, if you look at the map, we are, the road at the north end of your photo is our drive. It is our back drive, and our building is directly to the north of that. So the other piece I would like to point out, if you look at the picture, we are directly north. You will see the circular, to the left of our property, you'll see a circular, like, concrete path. That is an open courtyard for our memory care neighborhood. So that will be directly north of this project. I have a building full of vulnerable seniors. These are folks, many on oxygen. Again, this is the only outdoor area for my memory care residents, and I am greatly concerned over the dust that will inevitably be created along with the noise nuisance. 7 o'clock in the morning is, my residents are asleep, and they won't be if there is a concrete plant directly in their parking lot. So for the record, we are against this. I know these projects need to be somewhere, and I am all for progress and doing work, but it's too close to my seniors, and I think this would be a big detriment to their lifestyle. Most particularly our memory care, where that is their open area, is right there. So thank you very much.
anyone else in the public? Okay.
Go ahead.
Hello. First, I have a question. Is the use in Farmington Hills or is the use in West Bloomfield?
That's Farmington Hills.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Name.
I'm Maureen Doyle. I live at 30515 West 14 Mile. And the use you said was West Bloomfield or Farmington Hills?
Farmington Hills.
Oh, okay, great. When I was trying to find the subdivision, I found one in West Bloomfield, but not Farmington Hills.
It's south of 14, between 13 and 14, and Farmington and Drake, I think, right?
Oh, okay, great.
Real quickly, Farmington Hills, along with a lot of other communities in the area, the cement batch plants can't export outside the city.
Oh, okay.
As Steve was
Yeah.
referring to earlier, he tried Commerce, but if
Right.
it's set up in Commerce, it's got to be used in Commerce. The same thing with
Right.
Farmington Hills.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to say, this is a densely populated residential area. It's our home. It's not an industrial area. There's gotta be other places, that are further away from houses, like on Orchard, like where there's some empty buildings or something, and I know that you've looked, and I know that you're trying, but there's a school and athletic fields and a playground yards away, like just over there. And my home, there's a neighborhood across 14 Mile. It's hazardous to our health. Please don't approve this. Thank you.
Okay.
My name's Robin Braun, B-R-A-U-N,
Got it?
30475 West 14 Mile.
30475.
West 14 Mile.
Thank you.
My condo actually faces Anthology and that open lot. For the last 18 months, I've had to listen to them build public storage and Anthology early in the morning till late at night, so loud that I could actually hear the workers talking. My door wall faces it. If you're gonna approve it, which I hope that you don't, can you reduce the hours? 7 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, I work all week. 7 o'clock at night, I mean, that's a long time, 6 days a week. So I hope you oppose it.
Good evening. My name is Mike Schuster. I have a condo at 30475 West 14 Mile, apartment 85. If you go back to the previous slide where the two aggregate piles are at the north end of this site, the condo is on the second floor, right in line with those two piles. I know that they will attempt to do dust control by watering. The difficulty is if you do too much watering, then you're going to complain about the mud on the roads. So my question becomes, why are we putting this in right next to a densely residential area? If, I don't know why, have you looked across the street?
Yes.
I know that part of their contract is to find a place in Farmington. This is not an appropriate area for a batch plant. I know the concrete silos are self-contained. However, the aggregate is not, the sand is not. You are going to have dust, you're going to have fines, you're going to have all of that blowing off your piles for the time that they're not there. Because they're going to set it up, go away, and come back and run the plant when they need the concrete. It's not a good use. That's my objection.
Anybody have any further questions up here? Anybody else in the public wish to speak? Okay, hearing none, I'll close the public hearing.
Hear from
Oh.
phone in again.
Go ahead.
You mentioned the piles. Again, I look at the site right now, it's barren, and when we leave, it's going to be restored. We will do our best to manage the piles. If we can bring in only enough for each, and our engineering department over here will tell you that this isn't an easy task. But I will do my best to mitigate or minimize the piles. If the dust is an issue when we're not there, we can apply a calcium chloride to the site to try to help mitigate. Again, I know we're going to be disruptive. I understand that, but we're going to do everything we can to work with the city and make sure that we're the least disruptive we can be. I can't promise I'm not going to disrupt all the residents. I can promise that I'll do everything I can to be the least disruptive Florence Smith can be.
Anybody else have any questions?
Have you done, at the entry or exit, just washes if you're accumulating mud or dirt on your trucks?
Yes, we'll have a broom tractor on site that if we are tracking mud, we'll sweep it off the road.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
I just make a statement. They were down the street from me. I posted a couple of years ago, and they had a 2-year. There was a 2-year contract. They had uses for 2 years in a row, last year and the year before.
Yes.
They were out of there. It was you.
It was us, yes.
And I live approximately a block and a half, 2 blocks away from that site, about where East Middle School is compared to this site. And they couldn't come up Drake Road because they weren't allowed to do that. They had to go south down to Grand River. And I was concerned about the noise. I was concerned about the dust. And I can tell you that I didn't even know when they were operating. I would drive past it because I had to, because we're kind of blocked in where I live. And I did not hear them. No hands.
I learned Spanish. That's how much I can hear.
Okay, you're a lot closer than I am, but I'm I live approximately as close as East Middle School is. And I live in a subdivision, and there's condos behind me, and there's condos behind them, and then there's another street there, and then that's where the batch plant is, and that's where the batch plant's going to be again. The other gentleman this year, and I know they operated most of the summer, and they actually left before I thought they would, because one day I drove by and they were gone. But
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
this is not a question and answer.
Yeah, we can't do this.
You're going to talk. Come back. Okay.
No, I'm just, see, the thing is, you've already had an opportunity to talk. I listened to you, all of you. I'm just trying to tell you that I've been subjected to this myself. I don't live too far, and I'm going to be near.
Mr. Chair, the public hearing is closed. So it's just.
Public hearing is closed.
The public hearing is closed.
Yes. Okay. That's it. You had your chance.
And the only thing I want to say is that, not everybody's going to be happy. I wasn't happy to begin with, but it never bothered me because I was never subjected to it. Even though it was right near my house, and I didn't hear them, and I knew when they were operating. Sometimes, because I drove by, I could see the trucks there.
Mr. Chair?
Stop.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is totally out of order. Very highly unusual.
And I can tell you it's very interesting that you're making these comments because they made the same comments about that facility going up when it went up too, okay? And the folks on 14 Mile Road were opposed to the senior facility and to the storage facility. It's what happens, I'm sorry. But I'm just trying to tell you, my experience was it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And, okay.
Okay, you got to stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just my opinion, okay?
Ready for motion?
Now I'm going to do one.
Go ahead. Steve, you want to do it? Go ahead. Sure. If you want to make the motion, you can set it in there.
I move that special approval number 57-3, 2022, submitted by Steve Greger of Florence Cement Company, be approved subject to all the applicable provisions of the zoning chapter for the following reasons. The use would not be injurious to the district or the environs. The effects of the use would not be contrary to the spirit and intent of the zoning chapter. The use would be compatible with existing uses in the area. The use will not interfere with the orderly development of the area. The use will not be detrimental to the safety or convenience of vehicular or pedestrian traffic. Do I have to add identifying the parking area and the setbacks on plans?
Yes.
Yes. Is there support?
Second?
Support. It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion?
For me?
Yeah.
Now I can say something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please do.
For me, I think your hours need to be taken into consideration for the residents. I know right now we have the 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I feel though that those hours should be changed. I don't know, are you working those 12 hours?
Yes.
Completely, all 12 hours?
Yes.
Could it be done lesser time, or could the hours be changed to 8 o'clock?
It may
And
add
maybe
extra
changed to
days.
like 5, especially like on a Saturday, like some of the residents. But I do believe the 7 a.m. is really early because you're right there in a
Shorten the day,
residential.
You extend the work.
Yeah,
So I can do shorter days, but then it'll be more days. So my 12 may go to 14, I don't know. I'm willing to work with the board in any manner. We've been there, like you said, for 2 years at Stone Creek and Westlake subdivision. There were, if I could sit here and promise we'd never work Saturday, my guys would love it, we would love it. But it's just the way the schedule works. There's certain parameters within the job that areas must be covered or paved within a time frame of once they get done.
Yeah.
I'm be able to work within the township or within the city. It does limit what we can do. I worry about more days.
Well, just trying to make it a win-win, you have the
Yep.
residents saying.
Yep, I can certainly say we can start later on a Saturday. We don't have to start 7 a.m. on Saturday, if that would help. We could go 9 a.m., something like that, if it would help. I still think that whether I start at 7 or 9, I'm gonna be disruptive. I'm just gonna do my best to be least disruptive. And I just ask for, I believe that we've been here for 3 years. I think we've proved that we are a good steward, and I'd like to prove some more.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there any further discussion?
Well, do you want to see if, would they be willing to do an amendment to change Saturday hours from 9 to 7? And everything else would
Okay.
be 7? Would you
Yeah.
like to make a motion to do
I mean,
that?
if you are agreeable, I'll amend that Saturday hours begin at 9.
Is that?
I've got a real quick question. Are these hours throughout the project or just on the paving days?
Or it's throughout the project?
It is, okay. So you're looking at 7 to 7 most days of the week throughout the few months?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So do you want to make a motion to amend to do that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, then
You gotta get with her.
talk to.
I agree to
Marissa.
it.
Okay.
For Saturdays.
Second approval?
No, the engineering department.
I'd like to hear from engineering to see what the impact on engineering is.
So we already do have a contract with them, 7 to 7, Monday to Saturday. So that would affect our contract if we did change these hours.
No, that's beyond us.
I guess through the chair, it probably is something that you don't need to put in the motion. I think the gentleman has indicated that he's willing to work with the city and try to do it to the extent he can. I think you can consider the conversation, I guess, direction to the city engineer's office and the city staff to keep that in mind when they actually do get to the paving days. And I don't know that you need to make it a subject to of the motion.
Okay.
Good with that?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so no amendment to the motion?
No amendment.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'll do that.
You know what, I would like to ask one question of engineering. Have we ever had a problem with any of the batch plants in the past
Not that I've heard of, no.
Okay, you haven't heard anybody getting sick because they were near a batch plant?
No, like you mentioned, these were all cement plant issues. It's not concrete batch plant issues.
Because we're all concerned about the safety of our residents.
Of course.
There's not much we can do about the noise, but we can watch to make sure that people aren't getting poisoned.
Right, yeah. And even the Eagle, they don't regulate under 200,000 cubic yards a year, and they're nowhere near that for production. So that just shows how little pollution that they are causing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You have anything else? Okay. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign? Okay. All right. Okay, the next item on the agenda is approval of minutes.
Just an adjustment to the minutes. My last name doesn't have an S on it. Barga. And I think on page probably 3 or 4.
Does that happen often or once?
I think it may.
I repeated?
Probably in previous
Page
minutes.
7.
But
Okay.
page 7. We'll call it a typo.
It is a typo. But
Thank you.
my brain repeats once I
Yeah.
make one. Thanks.
Kristen made me do it.
All those in favor of,
Someone make a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes.
yes.
As amended.
Motion
As
to approve the
amended.
minutes.
As amended.
As amended.
Yes.
You're making, did you support?
Support. Either me or Steve supports
Either way.
each other's motion.
Okay, so who did what?
Steve motion to approve. I supported.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign? Okay. Okay, commissioners' comments. Mr. Brickner, do you have any comments?
Nope. Yeah, I hope some of the, wait, I hope some of the, do we-
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I need the public comment before commissioners'
Oh.
comment.
Yeah.
Do we have a public?
Duke Orr, Steel Road. Nice to see new faces.
do we know you?
It's amazing what changes in
You have a
5
tan.
months. Sorry?
You have a tan.
No, actually, I'm always this red.
Oh, okay. You have high blood pressure.
No, that's the other funny thing, I don't. That's, at any rate, it's good to see you all. It's good to be back.
We miss you.
Good to see you.
Welcome back. Hey, there's an opening, Duke.
Yeah, there's a space open.
Talk about it.
He's a former commissioner. Okay.
Very.
Any other public comments? None? Okay. Commissioners' comments?
I had a question about some of the, what's going on with the roads. What's going on with, is 14 meant to be, does anybody know if 14 Mile is going to be shut down for a long time? Or are they going to do, is it just are they putting in more water pipes and then it's going to be a mill and fill?
From what I know, I think 14, that one's not my project, but that's going to be all summer. I don't think they're doing more water main, but sewer work.
I heard to October.
Yeah, so our ability to get around this town is severely hampered.
Yes, yes.
And of course, we don't know what the heck's gonna go on Orchard Lake. I know they already tore out Orchard Lake Road. When is normal cement season, though? Is that, it just started on the 15th?
Yep, yep. It just started.
The asphalt also starts on the 15th also?
Correct.
Because I could see them tearing things out, but they couldn't put anything back in yet.
Right, yep,
Until now.
exactly.
Okay. So any other warnings we should be giving the public about what's closing down in the next few weeks?
Those are the two big ones, Orchard Lake and 14.
Okay.
North.
Thank you.
Ms. Grant, do you have any comments?
Well, I am delighted to be here. This is my first day. I look forward to working with the city and working with my fellow commissioners.
Welcome.
Yeah, just I definitely want to welcome Tanji and Kristen to the commission. It's good to have some new members up here. And, you know, I think I've only been here for a year, but the other commissioners are very supportive and helpful, and as well as city staff. So hopefully you guys enjoy it as much as I do. Question, I think there was an application for the open seat. Do we know where that sits?
I haven't heard anything as to where that stands right now.
Okay.
No. They haven't forwarded the application to our department. I haven't seen anything since the last appointment.
That's the
Okay.
mayor's prerogative.
No, it's Andrew Simpson's the one that applied. Okay,
I believe that one is with the city manager's office, but
Okay.
yeah, I haven't heard
Great.
anything in our department.
Thank you. I'm all set.
You want to say anything?
Oh, just thank you for having me. Looking forward to working with everybody for the next year and getting to know my city more and get more involved.
Okay. Thank you. Steve?
Welcome aboard.
Thanks.
Glad to have you. Good to see Duke again. I'm good.
Okay. Looking for a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, right here. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Meeting's adjourned.
So do I have to?